the way.
We're wanted men.
I have spoken.
Welcome to episode 233 of the Smugglers Galaxy Podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. I'm Glenn. I'm back to being noisy, Glenn. Last week I had some complaints that I was being too quiet, so I'm back to being noisy, Glenn.
It's a little too quiet.
I guess I was like, let me just talk to you guys and be like, hey, how you doing? Have a one-on-one conversation, and it just was too quiet. Jason, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Maybe what is it?
I was
Is it ASR
driving.
or-
I was driving home from Florida last weekend, and I put on the episode, and I had to crank the volume in order to hear you. And I turned to my wife. I'm like, "This dude is always so loud. Why is he whispering?" And then the commercials came on, and it was so loud I had to turn the volume down. I was racing to turn it down. I'm like, "What is going on?
Oh, I don't know.
Is he being held at gunpoint or something? And you can't talk above 4 decibels?"
I didn't pay attention when I edited it, which I never pay attention, but I was like,
Shocker.
I should have upped the volume. And I'm sorry, everybody, for talking too low last week, but I hope you
It's
enjoyed
fine.
it. We actually got some good feedback on that episode. I was surprised.
Yeah.
It was just sort of, let me throw this out there and see what happens. And it actually turned out pretty good.
It was. Good job.
Yeah. It was funny because like that morning we got Jordan and Ted both were like, guys, that was great. So
And then Lewis commented on whatever format he's listening, Spotify. He just said like good episode or something like that.
oh, awesome. So it's always good when you get good feedback. So thanks for the feedback, guys.
Yeah.
Because it felt like you put yourself out there, you know? Even though we're putting ourselves out there every week, when you do an episode like that, it's like you're really putting yourself out there. And maybe
Again.
that's why I was whispering. I don't know.
They're saving people the task of going back to episodes 10 through 20 and listening to the story all over again.
Right. Well, it is. It's like, because how many times are you going to go back to a podcast when you pick it up? Are you going to go and listen from the beginning and there's 4 years worth of stuff?
No, I'm never doing that.
Exactly. So yeah, that's why I did it. So your turn's next, Jason.
Yay, me.
How you been the last couple of weeks?
Fine. Went down, like I said, I went down to Florida for work, but we did go a day before for vacation, and nothing really to pick up down there. I'm not a fan of Tampa.
Well, it's Tampa. There's not a whole lot going on in Tampa. If it was Orlando's got tons of stuff, but Tampa, I don't know. I never really been to Tampa.
My wife wanted to eat dinner on the beach, not on the beach, on the water. So we went to Whiskey Joe's, which is a place like right on the water, and we go to sit down. I couldn't find parking, so I was just like, forget this. I'm valeting. I'm not going to be cheap tonight.
Look at you.
And so I went to go meet her, and she's not sitting by the water. She's sitting closer. She's on the deck, but she's closer to the place itself. And I had to track someone down. I was like, can we go sit on the water? They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So we sat down, and it was cold. I forgot to bring my jacket. So I'm sitting there shivering, but I didn't want her to know that.
Those are the worst when you're at a place and you don't pack right, or you don't bring what you need, and you're just freezing.
Like the thing is, I did pack right. I had my jacket in the car, but my jacket was in the car and it was with valet, so I didn't want to go ask the valet guys to go get it.
They probably would have done it and been
would've.
happy.
Yeah, for a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that happened to me when I was in New Orleans because we were out and about, and we ended up. I thought we were just going to go to dinner like right down the street. I'm like, oh, it's fine, and we ended up doing like a 20-minute walk, and it was a lot colder, and I didn't bring a jacket. Mandy ran back in and got a jacket, and she stole my jacket. And then when we were walking back, she like rolled the sleeves up, and I'm like, give me that thing if you're going to do that. Well, my arms are hot. I'm like, well, give me my jacket because I'm cold. Anyway,
But I did stop at multiple Targets and Walmarts along the way, and it's the same stuff over and over again. All the
yeah,
same items are clogging store shelves when it comes to Star Wars. The Black Series, IG 11 Deluxe, the Deluxe Cobb Vanth. They've got tons of Black Series Mandos and Darth Vaders clogging shelves, and
well, did make a ton of Mandalorian. You're talking Mando like Din Djarin Mandalorian.
Din Djarin.
Well, they had to make him one. Oh, he's got snow on him. Oh, he's got mud. Oh, he's got different mud. So let's keep making them.
I did see the new Black Series Luke Skywalker,
Uh-huh.
which I was considering buying to see if it would be an upgrade for the one that I have in my Black Series Cantina,
Yeah.
but they just can't nail the look of Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill. He's got a bowl cut, and someone in our moderator group, it was probably Jerry, posted the meme from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
Harry,
what that's
no,
about.
name's Christmas, Lloyd Christmas. Lloyd Christmas, he's got that bowl cut, and so
Yeah.
the way they soup Luke's hair in front of his head makes it look like it's a bowl cut. So
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm so out of the modern stuff that I totally miss that. The only thing I'm looking for as far as what would be on the store shelves right now would be the Hot Wheels. They put the characters in the cars. They did a Back to the Future one with Marty. I got the one with Marty, but then they did a Marty in the radiation suit
yeah,
as a chase.
as
And
Darth
that
Vader.
series, huh?
As Darth Vader.
As Darth Vader. That series, for some reason, I can't find them in the stores. It's like they skipped over. I think it's a Micro Galaxy Squadron all over again, where they skipped over that series of cars. I found because they had Gizmo and they had a Marty, and I found both of those at the same time. And then now all of a sudden there's a new wave coming out, and it's like that wave got skipped for some reason. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm also haven't been stopping at a whole lot of Targets lately either, so maybe I need to start stopping at more.
Yeah, I went to Woodstock yesterday, and I mean, it's the same stuff. It's clogging shelves. And I did see reports that there's new vintage collection stuff on store shelves, but I haven't been able to find it. I actually got a shipment this week from Hasbro. I got Indara, vintage collection Indara.
Mm.
I got Clone Trooper Teth from Ahsoka. I mean, if there's a reason to repack something and give it a new card back, they do it.
Right.
This one
We've
isn't.
released this 5 times.
This one's not bad. Um, Although I have to admit, whenever I get a clone, whenever I get a new clone, I always question like how long will this figure last before it starts to yellow, because some clones yellow faster than others.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see.
Are we talking years or months?
Years,
Okay.
but it could be as short as like a year or two.
Gotcha.
I think there was a clone from the first line of the vintage collection that was pretty fast. I think it was yellowing when it came to store shelves.
Oh my
That's how
gosh.
fast. I got Anakin from Ahsoka, which is cool. I mean, this is a really good likeness on him. It really
Mhm.
looks like Hayden Christensen. So
Well, that's a whole new sculpt and everything, right?
they have
The whole
released, they did release it before with like a photoshopped Anakin, because
uh-huh.
this was before this was during the Clone Wars cartoon. So they didn't have Hayden in this costume.
Right.
So this is the first time they were able to do that. And then these colors represent the show better than the previous release, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Okay. Yeah, no. And
Like I said,
it's another face sculpt too, right?
yeah, I have 3 of these somehow. This is the Luke Skywalker, which is 344. I said this shouldn't have been 344 on the line. Should have been earlier, but it is a good
Right.
figure. I'm
Mhm.
very happy with it. I did open it, so I was able to play with it. Again, Luke doesn't really look too much like Mark, but I like the figure.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good looking card.
And then two more.
Oh, wow.
I got the Jet Trooper from Survivor.
They fly now?
They fly now. But this was in Battlefront first, but it was from that one scene where they're in the, I don't know, Battle Droid base or whatever. There's a part where you have to fight a bunch of these troopers, and
Yeah, they're
these guys
pains in the
come out.
butt.
Yeah, you just shoot their backpack and they fly into the wall, which is the best part.
Oh, I need to shoot their backpack then.
And then I got Ahsoka herself from the show. It's Ahsoka the White, essentially.
Yeah, I need to get that one because that's a good looking figure. I had it ordered on Amazon and then it never showed up. The typical Amazon thing.
Well, with Amazon, and this is something I need to open. And so the Ahsoka ship from Micro Galaxy Squadron,
Uh-huh.
I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and it's sitting in Target store shelves. And it was
Right.
supposed to come out in January, and they sent me a message saying, "I'm sorry, this is delayed until February. Do you still want it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." All the while thinking that if it goes on sale for 50% off at Target, I'll go ahead and buy it.
Right.
And then I got a notification from, and it hasn't gone on sale in Target. Then I got a notification from Amazon that it won't come out until October. And I'm like, that's fine, because that gives me more time to try to pick it up at Target. And then
Right.
a week later it ships.
Did you get it yet?
Yeah, I have it. I just haven't opened it up in the box. I got to do that.
All right. Well, you can always hold on to it, and if it goes on sale on Target, return it to Amazon.
I could, but that takes a lot of effort, and I'm too busy.
Yeah, I've seen the U-Wing. Is it U? Did they redid the U-Wing, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I was
I've,
able to pick that up at a 50% off sale.
yeah, I've seen that one at 50% off, and I've seen the Ahsoka ship. But yeah, nothing. I haven't seen anything else. I think I've seen Shin Hati ship, but I haven't. That line, I no, that line has not got me excited. But I did. Somebody did post the TIE Defender, maybe.
Yeah.
That now if they release a TIE Defender, they better not do it. It'll be very disappointing if they decide to make that a chase. Somebody, and I'm like, I hope they don't make it a chase. And apparently there is a different paint scheme that they'll make a chase, where the
Yeah.
normal one will be fine. Will be
That should be the way they go forward is regular release for the regular ship. And then if you do the stealth bombers or stealth, the unique paint schemes, those should be the chases because what I want in my collection are the main line ships.
right.
I couldn't care less if I get the Darth Vader Jedi Starfighter. It's like, okay, whatever.
Well, that one's a cool. Yeah, I agree with that. And that Jedi Starfighter, that Darth Vader one's awesome because it's all black. I mean, if I could find that one, I'd pick it up just because it's a really cool looking ship because it's stealthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. 100% agree with that, especially with something like the TIE Defender. People are going to want that ship.
Yeah.
Because it's an awesome ship and it's an iconic ship. Because you've got Rebels fans that are into it and you've got Thrawn fans that are into it. So it covers a wide range of fans. So you shouldn't make that. You have to make that a main line.
Yeah. You've got the Galoob fans too, who
Oh yeah,
appreciate that from the original Action Fleet line.
and that's still an expensive ship too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Hmm.
I'm lucky I got that one when I did for the price that
Right.
I got it for.
Exactly. You're like ching. Yeah,
Um,
you wanna hear what I picked up? It's kind of disappointing.
you didn't. Oh, I didn't think you picked up anything.
I,
I
I
think you're
haven't
selling
been.
things.
I have been selling things because, yeah. Anyway, those though you hate when you get the phone call, hey buddy, and you know what that means. That means you got to spend money. But anyway, the only thing I picked up was a freaking Funko Pop,
Oh, which one?
Ezra with the Loth Cat.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like they keep dragging me back in with the Rebels stuff. Um, And
well,
and Rebels is the only ones I collect, so I feel like I have to keep that one going. It's one of those completest things. And Amazon, it was an Amazon. They did a Sabine a while back, and then they did the Ezra with the Loth Cat, and I think it was down to like $11. So I picked that up on Amazon, and it came in like 2 days. So yay,
well, a lot of Funko fans, a lot of Funko fans, and so
yeah.
keep selling. Seems to be a strong company.
Um, yeah. I mean, I think they're doing it right as far as, finding license. I have it's been years since I've really followed Funko, but when I was following them, I thought they did it right because they'd find lines that nobody else had done. And you could do a little static figure and people would go crazy for it because, they did The Office and people love The Office. So they want something, you want swag, you want stuff from The Office. And I mean, they're still doing those. And then,
I mean, they did
um,
stuff for Hamilton, like the Broadway
yeah,
show. They deep cuts, like you're saying.
yeah, they do
I don't.
stuff. Yeah, like you were saying, Hamilton. Somebody's going to want a little figure from Hamilton to put on their desk.
And
That's
the
what they're going to go with.
And so Walmart did release a series of, I think, two figures for The Office, Dwight and Pam.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they sold through, so they never made any more than that. But I mean, the Funko ones sell, so people want a figure of some sort representative of their favorite show, but they're not going to buy realistic action figures. They'll buy the cutesy stuff that they could put on their desk.
Right, exactly. And it's $10. Everybody's got $10 in their pocket. I think it's a good price point. So that or you got that, and you got the grandparents, because I was in a Funko panel years ago at Joe-Lana, or Toy-Lana rather, and they were saying that the price point is perfect because it's you're trying to find something for a kid, you're trying to find something for a coworker. $10 is right where is like a sweet spot for
Yeah.
what you want to spend, and you get them something decent.
Yeah. I think the only Funkos I have left are the Walmart version of Walrus Man, Hammered Head, and Greedo from the Kenner.
Gotcha.
It was a Walmart exclusive, but I think the rest of them I gave to Harrison. I mean, I just don't care about Funko.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way. And the sad part is it's still what I'll normally do is when I get something, I'll open it and then I'll put it on my shelf up here, upstairs, and I'll let it sit for a couple of days before I bring it downstairs. And it's been a week and that thing's still sitting there. So that tells you how excited I am to bring it downstairs, or how much I care. It's just you're filling a hole, basically, is all I'm
Yeah.
doing.
I did dive into a bunch of websites that were talking about the Hasbro earnings call that
Yeah.
just happened. So I was able to get my head wrapped around that. And so the new strategy, according to the CEO, Chris Cox, is the new strategy is called Play to Win. And so it's going to be aimed to 13 and up. I think they're focusing more on gaming, digital gaming, than traditional toys.
Uh-huh.
Revenue has dropped 17% for the year.
Wow.
So compared to last year, it's a 17% drop, but they are making revenue. It's just not as much as last year.
Hmm.
Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast does represent 50% of their revenue. So it's no surprise that they're leaning into gaming, since half of their money is coming from gaming.
Hmm.
That seems to be the strong area, and that seems to be where they're making the profit.
Right.
Monopoly Go, which is a digital app. It's an app on your phone that made $112 million, for example. And
my
with that,
goodness.
you don't have to worry about development of figures. You don't have to worry about production costs. You don't have to worry about shipping. It's just, we developed the app and now it's out there.
That's crazy that you can make. You said 120 million on an app,
112, but I mean, what difference is 8 million
right?
at
I need to
that
develop an
level?
app, man.
Yeah. So revenue for traditional toys continues to sink. Star Wars was called out on the investor call as being one of the weaker segments of the company.
Mhm.
That and Nerf, believe it or not, those two areas seem to be the weakest. They said Star Wars declined because it was light on entertainment, meaning
Uh-huh.
there's just not much out there.
What's the common denominator on those two?
Yeah, Patrick. It could be just a coincidence. I
Well,
mean,
that's just so I could put it out there in the universe, because people are being like, "What?" Patrick, he ran Star Wars, now he runs Nerf. So there you go.
yeah, but I don't know if that's his fault.
I
It's
yeah,
kids aren't going outside to play with Nerf guns anymore. They're staying inside and playing on their phones, and that's why Hasbro's leaning in towards the digital gaming, because that's where the money is.
right. I mean, everybody games, so I mean, especially the little digital stuff. I mean, like Monopoly, like you said, that's an easy game. I guess I would assume it'd be an easy game to play on your phone, where you could play it for do a couple of plays and put the phone up and then go back to it.
Yeah.
Plus, then you got to pay money to, sometimes those things, you pay money to upgrade, and it's $5 at a time, or 99 cents at a time, and next thing you know, you got $112 million.
Yeah. On the call, they also admitted that Star Wars will be a challenge going forward. So I guess the question is, will Mando and Grogu make kids want to explore Star Wars toys again?
Yeah.
The word on the street is that Hasbro's deal with Lucasfilm expires in 2027, sorry, 2028. So is 2027 the 50th anniversary of Star Wars the last hurrah? Is the sun setting? Are we approaching the end of an era here? Um, I don't know if things don't turn around. I think Hasbro might be willing to walk away from the Star Wars line, but that's just my speculation.
The way things are going, I would probably say yes. At least physical toys.
Mattel is the number one American toy company, so Hasbro is falling behind Mattel in terms of revenue.
Okay.
Lego and Bandai, though, are both ahead, Mattel and Hasbro. So if you look at the world itself, instead of just America, Lego and Bandai are higher. They sell more than Hasbro and Mattel.
Yeah, dude, I can understand Lego. Lego is because you've got people that are into puzzles. It's like a 2-for-1 as far as Lego, as far as gaming goes,
Yeah,
because you got the you can build it and then you can play with it. Or you build it and put it on a shelf or whatever. Or you build it, you take it apart and build something else. So
yeah.
it's a 2-for-1 toy, I think.
I think the toy industry is just a dying industry, and it's just not healthy anymore with the loss of Toys R Us.
Hmm.
They've been reduced to what, eight aisles maybe at Target and Walmart.
Yeah.
That's not a lot, and so everybody's competing for limited shelf space, and there's just not much to go around. And like I was talking earlier, it's the same stuff just sitting there. Kids aren't running to race out to buy their Black Series Darth Vader or their Din Djarin or their IG-11.
Hmm.
And so a lot of this stuff just ends up in Ollie's, and it's just not healthy right now.
Yeah.
And although I don't follow NECA, it's my understanding that NECA might not be in a great place.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their stuff is just sitting on toy shelves, and then they have to slash prices to get things sold to Target. So I
Hmm.
think I think they had a debt, and I could be completely wrong, so I apologize, but I thought they had a designated area at Target for just NECA figures, and they've lost that.
Really?
I mean, they still have it. They still have toys in Target, but this the designated space is just gone.
Because I remember Target at one time back in the electronics department had like a collectibles area, which is where you find the Funko, you'd find the NECA, you'd find the higher end toys. There was never any if there was Star Wars, it was very few, but you would find like the horror stuff. All the more collectible toys were back in the electronics area. So you're saying that's gone now, or you think that's gone?
No, there's still the specialty toys or collector toys,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think it's like I think anybody could be there now. I thought at one point it was just NECA, but like I
Okay.
said, I could be completely wrong, so
Gotcha.
don't put too much weight on that.
I guess we need to look next time we go to Target.
But yeah, as far as Hasbro's concerned, there's no more exclusives when it comes to Target.
Hmm.
The vintage collection exclusives and the Black Series exclusive have kind of gone by the wayside. Micro Galaxy Squadron, for some reason, does get the Target exclusive. So the strategy works. I guess it's just not working for action figures.
Yeah. But then again, when I look at the Micro Galaxy Squadron stuff, all I see is the Naboo Starfighter, the yellow one, not even the Mandalorian one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're not ordering it or if it's selling out faster than they could put it on the shelves.
I say hope for the best, but plan for the worst. This could be
Yeah.
the end, or we're approaching the end of Star Wars collecting, which is fine.
Save us
Maybe,
some money.
maybe it's time to move on.
Yeah.
But I'll let Hasbro decide when it's time to move on.
Yeah. I fear that we will be model train collectors here soon. And I don't want to be a model train collector.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, there's nothing, but you know where model trains have been, or you know what I mean? It's a dying industry. And I think that's where we're going.
I wish Star Wars was more of a pop cultural moment.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of people are talking right now about James Bond because the Broccoli family, who have owned the James Bond franchise for the most part since the start, since its inception,
Hmm.
has sold their stake to Amazon.
Hmm.
And so now Amazon has full creative control of the James Bond franchise. And the Broccoli family had fought to keep James Bond in the theater. They didn't want it to be a TV show. They didn't want it to be reduced to that because they want
Hmm.
it to be a pop culture moment.
Right.
And I think James Bond is going to move forward and being a TV show, which could be cool, but I prefer the big cinematic explosions, the big,
Mhm.
James Bond is an experience that should be on the screen for me, and I just don't want it to be like Jack Reacher, where it's like, oh, is that on again? Oh, I guess I got to catch up for 3 episodes.
Yeah, I feel yeah. I mean that
And
theaters could
so,
be another dying industry, you know?
yeah, and so, but I think I think they're eating themselves. I think they're killing themselves with the 45-day theatrical window
Right.
because instead of making billions now, it's all going to streaming. We've talked about this before, but
Right.
I think Star Wars needs to be that cinematic experience. I don't want something every year necessarily.
Hmm.
I don't know. I want it thought out. I don't want it just race to the screen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, because it's you see a movie and 45 days later, 2 months later, it's on streaming, and you're like, wasn't that just in the theater? Where I'm used to, back in our day when we were growing up, you had to wait 6, 7 months for it to show up on a VHS tape that you had to go rent at the movie store.
Yeah. And I mean, George was very into the experience of the theatrical experience. He was interested in this improving sound, improving picture quality, and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, his attention was focused on the theatrical experience.
Hmm.
Seems now it's more about the streaming experience, which is just it's just another TV show. It's just another thing I got to do while I'm at home.
Yeah.
It's not an appointment. It's not, when Star Wars would come out, May 19th, May 21st, May 25th, no matter what the date was, I my world was like directed towards that moment at
Right.
midnight on May 19th. I'm going to see Star Wars.
Yep.
And now it's kind of like, if I don't see it on Tuesday night, I can watch it Wednesday morning when I'm out of work or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel the same.
No, it doesn't. And the only reason, truthfully, and then ask yourself this: if the internet didn't exist, would you be that hard pressed to watch it when it came out?
Yeah,
Because you're
I think
trying to
so.
avoid spoilers.
I think the world would be in a better place if the internet didn't exist. But with that aside, I do think I would be going to the theater. And because of all this, I guess in conclusion, wrapping it back up to Hasbro, the demand, the passion's not there anymore because it's not an experience. And so uh, they've released a limited number of Skeleton Crew Black Series figures. We've got
Mhm.
the one vintage collection figure. It's just not supported anymore. And I don't know. It's just it doesn't feel good. It feels like
Right.
it's in a bad place and it's going to continue going in a bad place.
Well, let me ask you this. You were just saying, so they released them all, like the skeleton. We'll talk Skeleton Crew because you mentioned Skeleton Crew. They released everybody, like the 4 kids in
The
Black
four,
Series.
yeah, they released the 4 kids, they released Jod, and they also released the Pirate Brutus.
Okay, but they all right. So you had the
And
five figures Black Series,
six. The
six, so
four
six,
kids, Jod and Brutus.
and the Smee. But then they
No,
only released. Go ahead.
Smee was SM33 was pipelined,
Okay.
but he hasn't been released yet.
All right. Well, the point I'm getting at, and then they only released one in TVC. Do you think if they did the same thing in TVC that they did in Black Series, or they released the whole series, the whole set, people would be more willing to spend the money versus, oh, there's only one figure? Because you're going to want to, those people are going to want to play with you, as a kid, you're going
Yeah.
to want to have the whole crew to play with versus just one.
Yeah, I think it was part of the hype machine.
Uh-huh.
Midnight Madness. I would go to Midnight Madness and I wanted to get all the figures there. So I would get all the vintage collection figures or all the episode 1 figures,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be.
Right.
But there's not that. It's just if I go in on Friday, they don't have the figures. Okay, I guess I'll go on Sunday and there's only 2 figures left. So I guess I
Right.
just have to get those 2 and search for the other 4.
Right, but what I'm saying is the other 4 don't exist. There's only one figure in TVC.
Yeah, yeah.
So why would I buy one figure if I want all 4 of them? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's all or
I see
nothing
what
at
you're
that
saying
point.
now.
You know what I mean? So that may be why they're shooting themselves in the foot versus, let's make one figure from each show and then let's just make all 4 figures, uh like they
I,
did with the retro line. I mean, I think shooting off the top of my head, I think if they did a retro skeleton crew, that I think that looked pretty cool.
I get the impression that like Lucasfilm dictates what they should be making.
Uh-huh.
And so because I felt like with Star Wars, with the sequel trilogy, they were like, you need to put Kylo Ren in this
Mhm.
line for Rise of Skywalker, and Hasbro could have pushed back and said, well, we still have Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi on store shelves. We don't need to release another one. And
Mhm.
Lucasfilm's like, no, you do. We want you supporting this. And so I feel like sometimes it's kind of dictated by Lucasfilm. We want you supporting this. So, they put all their energy in the Black Series, and so they only released the one for the Vintage Collection because I think Black Series is the scale that people collect at this point for the
Yeah.
most part, because they seem to release more Black Series than Vintage Collection.
Right. Well, I'm looking at it as a price point. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, the Black Series, but if I was a parent buying my kid a toy, and my kid was like, I need $100 to buy four, or no, so you're 25 on the Black Series, right? Right now, roughly
26, something like that. Yeah,
$26 for a
it's up
Black
there.
Series figure.
Well, I think Hasbro's pushing collectors right now to see if they'll spend $50 because there's some sort of Ultimate Marvel Legends Spider-Man that's coming out that's $50.
Uh-huh.
And he's got tons. He's the most posable figure ever. He's got tons of different hands and faces and stuff, but he's $50.
Right.
I
And as
think
an adult,
Hasbro's
go
trying to
ahead.
push and see real quick. I think Hasbro's trying to
Yeah.
push us and see, will we support a $50 figure?
And as an
Anyways,
adult collector, the answer is yes. As a kid, the answer is no.
yeah,
There's no way I'm spending $50 on a toy that my kid's going to play with one time and lose all the pieces.
right.
And that's why I was going with the Black Series. It's like, okay, so there's 5 or 6 for Skeleton Crew. We're just using Skeleton Crew because that's where our head's at.
Yeah,
And so you're at $26 a figure times 5, you're at $150, $150, right?
yeah,
150 plus.
yeah.
There's no way I'm going to spend 150 plus to buy my kid a toy.
Yep.
To buy in this day and age with the way things are going, and the economy and inflation, and you know what I mean, you're struggling to put food on the table, or you're going to buy toys. There's no way you're going to buy $150 worth of toys right now. Just on a Tuesday night. You'll do it on a birthday, but you're not going to do it just cuz.
I will say that Neil though has struck a chord with people because that's the Black Series figure that is very difficult to track down.
Yeah.
People want Neil as part of their collection. They might skip the other figures, but they do want Neil. So
Yeah. Well, Neil turned out to be like
he's the heart of the show.
yeah. And they'll show pictures of the Skeleton Crew, the kids walking around a convention, and the guy that played Neil's got a little stuffed animal Neil walking around. So I
Yeah.
don't know if he has that or somebody gave it to him, but yeah, Neil struck a chord. I think Neil was a neat character. Just I think they because something's as silly as showing him taking baths just humanizes that character.
Yeah.
And people identify with that. They're like, I like taking baths, so I like Neil.
I like the holiday special, so I like Neil.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's silly stuff like that. Or, I want to Neil finally became a badass, and I'm going to be Neil.
I also wonder, so Hasbro seems to digitally sculpt figures once and then release it in the Black Series, scale it down, release it to the Vintage Collection, or vice versa.
Uh-huh.
And so Jod has been released both in Black Series and the Vintage Collection. I kind of like they're still slowly releasing Ahsoka stuff. So does that mean in like 2028, towards the end of the line, we're going to get Neil in the Vintage Collection, which is too late?
Yeah.
Like this Ahsoka, the white should have been released when Ahsoka came out, what, a
Right.
year ago?
Yeah. They should have. I think Lucasfilm is too. I mean, I think it's kind of they've gone back on this a little bit, but I think they're too into keeping secrets, and it's shot them in the foot. It shot them in the foot with Baby Yoda. I mean, I understand them trying to keep secrets with Baby Yoda, keeping that figure under wraps, but they missed a Christmas season because of that. And I think didn't it cost them millions or $1 billion or something stupid because they were trying to keep the secret of Baby Yoda?
Yeah, it could have made a lot more money if they were ready from the get-go to release product.
Yeah, and I don't know how you keep that stuff secret because there is too much
They had to
going on.
they had to
You
shut
know,
down Etsy sales because people were filling that void, and then Disney's like, "Wait a minute, that's our thing. We should be making money, not you."
right? Well, you should have had the product ready, and then
Yeah.
and I don't know how to avoid that. Spoilers, but sometimes you got to let that go. It surprises me that somebody that's so money hungry, like Lucasfilm or Disney, you know what I mean, that they're not money hungry. It's a corporation; they want to make money, but they're gonna hold back. You know what I mean? And maybe
Yeah.
maybe the Baby Yoda thing taught them that they can't hold back things anymore.
Well,
Because well, I mean, just because let me finish this thought, and then because like with Ghostbusters, there were spoilers on the toys before the Ghostbusters movie came out.
yeah.
So, but what was your thought? I'm sorry.
No, we'll see. Andor's coming out in April,
Uh-huh.
and then after that, we've got a long draw, long, bleh, easy for me to say, a long pause, I guess, on Star Wars because we're not getting any new shows until a year later with The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Hmm.
So hopefully, with the hype train and everything, they'll increase the appetite for Star Wars, and people will get hungry for it, and they're going to want to see it, which will, you know, make people hyped up again for
Hmm.
Star Wars, and things might turn around.
I really
I,
hope
I
so.
think I think that pause there between Andor and Mando might be a good thing for the brand
Hmm.
because if it's just another show that comes out in December, it's like, another. Oh, okay. I think people have bad taste in their mouth also because of Mando season 3, which is the weaker of the three seasons.
That's because people didn't know how to watch it. They couldn't get around their minds what they were seeing on TV. Sorry.
They should have spun it off into something else, Bo-Katan or something like that,
Right. It didn't
because
need to be, it needed to be Mandalorians, not Mandalorian. And yeah, because it was focused on Mandalore as a whole versus Din Djarin.
but I'll be excited to see what happens next year.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a midnight madness at Walmart for the three figures they got on the store shelf? Who knows?
No. Though I mean, I remember waiting, not at midnight, but I mean, this was recently 2, 3 years ago, waiting for Target to open because you knew figures were being released.
Yeah.
But that's not, I don't think that happens anymore.
Yeah, I lived in Miami for the episode 1 midnight release.
Yeah.
So I did go to that one at Toys R Us. I remember that very vividly. I skipped Midnight Madness for episode 2, but that's
Mhm.
because I was a college student and I had to go to college or go to class in the morning. So I think right after class I went to Toys R Us and there was so much product there. It was not, I didn't miss anything.
Right.
I just didn't get there first. And then similarly to episode 3, we were expecting my first, so I didn't do Midnight Madness, but I did go to Target 9 a.m. and
Mhm.
the whole aisle was Star Wars.
Yeah.
They just don't do that anymore. Not even for like Endgame. Like it's just not done anymore. So I miss those days.
Yeah. Now you
Tons of
get a now,
product.
yeah, you get a palette of stuff that they pushed out that they may remember about,
Yeah,
and then it's all like two things.
yeah. So, anyways, not healthy.
No, it's not.
The
But
other
I guess
piece,
yes.
the other piece of news I had real quick. There's a comic out where Darth Vader has a vision about what his life would have been had he not gone to the dark side.
Ooh.
Padme's still alive and they have a son.
Uh-huh.
What do you think they named the son?
I would say Ben would be my first choice, but that's not right. It would
Rhymes with Ben ish, rhyme-ish.
oh, I was gonna no.
What?
No, I was gonna say Jen, but that's not right either. The
Yeah,
guy,
it is.
huh?
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Jin, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh, Qui-Gon Jinn. Okay, that makes sense.
He would have named him Jin, Jinn. At least in
Okay.
that vision. It doesn't mean that's actually what would have happened, but because then, I mean, he didn't realize they had twins.
Oh, so that they were twins or they were
Well, in this
Luke and Leia?
vision, I don't know because in
Oh,
this
it was a
vision,
vision. Okay,
the
okay, okay.
vision, but I think the vision was based on what he knew
Uh-huh.
and that they were pregnant. He never knew that they had twins until
Until
the original trilogy.
right. Okay. Interesting. Was he still a little wimp and wanted to go to Tashi Station for power converters?
No, he was a Padawan. The Republic never fell. I did listen on my way down to from a certain point of view,
Uh-huh.
and there is a Wampa one. If you have Spotify, there's a Wampa one. I think it's like the second story read by Sam Witwer.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty good story.
I didn't know that they had um audio books on Spotify.
Yeah, it's read. They're read by different people, so it's not the same
Uh-huh.
narrator, same host, but
Well, no,
not
that's
all not
go
all
ahead.
stories are equal. I'll say that.
Right.
But the
Yeah,
Wampa one was pretty special.
I did read or I got about halfway through the one for A New Hope, and then I just lost interest in it. I don't know why. I probably found something else to read. But speaking of Wampas, it is really because I'm playing Jedi Survivor right now, and you round the corner and you see a desert Wampa, and that's pretty scary.
They're not called Wampas though.
No, they're called something else, but they're the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not Wampas, which threw me. They look like Wampas. They smell
Yeah,
like Wampas. They feel like Wampas, but they're not named Wampa.
right. So yeah, I guess I need to dig that one out. I enjoyed a certain point of view. It's fun, but yeah, you're right. You get a story that's 50 pages, and then you get a story that's two.
Yeah, not all stories are equal either, but I'll just
Right.
leave it at that.
Okay.
I don't want to rip apart someone else's writing because
Right. I need to.
I don't want them to do that to me.
That Jason was Suko.
I don't need that karma.
What else is going on, Jason? Anything else?
No, I don't think so. Nothing that I can talk about.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
There's a lot going on, but nothing I can talk about until after celebration.
Ooh, so we got like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you
It's
mean.
still about 70 days out, I believe. I think it's less than that. It might be closer to 60 days.
Yeah, and it is, you see the stuff, the post for celebration, and I really hope, I really, really hope that something comes of a celebration here soon. But we'll see.
I They did release the art that'll be on sale for celebration.
Yeah,
A lot of a lot of Grogu and a lot of Ahsoka.
yeah,
So I wonder if those are the two popular characters, even though Ahsoka didn't, the show itself didn't seem to resonate with everyone.
uh-huh.
Her merch must be selling.
Yeah. Well, it's Ahsoka. She's a popular character. Um, and I think that there again, with the Ahsoka show, just like Mandalorian season 3, you had to know what you were watching. And if you're going in expecting one thing and then they throw a bunch of Mandalorians at you, or they throw rebel characters at you that you don't know, you're lost.
Yeah.
With Ahsoka was essentially Rebels season 5,
Yeah.
and people were going to see Ahsoka. They weren't going to see Rebels season 5.
But I do have my family ready to go to Anaheim in 2027 if that's when they announce the next celebration. They're all like, yeah, we're all
Yeah,
going.
that's awesome. Well, then I guess I have to get Mandy to come with me so that they can hang out while we're at Celebration.
Yeah, even Maisie, my oldest, who doesn't like Star Wars, said, if I have to go to Celebration for a day, that's fine. I'll go. I don't care. I'll support you if I get to go to California and Disneyland. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, Disneyland. That means Disneyland nights. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
I'd be down to go to California in 27. I would rather it be in Anaheim, I mean in Orlando, but the more you think about it, the more it points to Anaheim in 27 just because
Yeah.
unless Disney just wants to really mess with you and be like, "No, we're going to do it in Indiana."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they do it in Indiana. I think, it's what's the synergy machine. So they're going to
Mhm.
support the parks and the only thing that I think Orlando has over Anaheim is that the new Epic Universe is out,
Right.
will be open. So they're going to want to compete against that by offering something and bring people to the park. I, but then again, Epic Universe is right across the street from the convention center.
Right.
So
I think they would shoot and they would shoot themselves in the foot and push it to Anaheim versus let Epic Universe have $1.
But does that mean that they'll never do Orlando one because Epic Universe is right across the street from the convention center?
I don't think it would be that bad, but give it a couple of years, maybe 5 or 6 years. I mean, I think it's stupid for the. I mean, I understand why they would want to have it just in Anaheim, but bouncing it coast to coast gives more people the opportunity. If you with us, it versus it's a $200 car ride versus $1,000 plane ticket.
And do they do D23 every other year?
I think what they do is there's a big one and then a little one.
So I think 2026 is the little one, right?
I don't keep up with it. Huh?
Well, they're not going to do Celebration and D23 in the same year.
Right.
So I'm hoping in 2026 they do a D23.
Right.
I should look
it says.
Are you looking it
20?
up?
Okay, so D23 20. It says 24. We're already.
There was one last year.
Okay.
In Anaheim.
So then that wouldn't be.
What happens when you search the next D23?
Okay, hold on. Next D. It's in Orlando in 25.
This year?
Hold on. The next D23 events are Destiny. Oh, that's Florida in August, and then the Anaheim. Wait a minute. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make. Okay. Yeah. D23.
You can't trust Google AI.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, oh, that's right. It's Google AI.
Because they tell you what you kind of want to hear sometimes, or what they think you want to hear, not exact facts.
Let me look at Mickey Visit. Where we go? Oh, they don't even have it announced. It says something. It looks like, when is this? When was you see? And then you got to look at. Okay, so this was last updated in February. So I don't even think they have. Yeah, I don't even think they've announced it.
I think Marvel could benefit from a convention like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't need to do Comic-Con anymore. With Doomsday and Secret War coming up, they could have their own convention and make a bunch of announcements and have all the vendors there. And
they're saying that what I'm looking at, they're saying July, August, September of 26 is typically they're guessing that's when they're going to do D23 in Anaheim.
So I would assume that there's not a celebration next year because of that. I think Disney's not going to want to make people go out to a convention twice in between 3 months of each other.
Right.
It's either or, and I think they're probably going to do D23. So I do think 2027, the 50th, will be a big year for Star Wars. Maybe the last big year. We'll see.
Yeah.
It was a fun ride.
It was. I think we'll be fine. We just won't have the toys. I mean, what are you going to do?
It'll be the small clubs that'll make the passion.
We'll still be we'll still have fun, and we still have our friends that collect. So, we'll have another 10 years of this. It'll be fun. By that time, we'll be in our 60s. Oh my God, did I just say that?
It depends. Well, in 10 years, I will be 55. I won't be 60. So.
Oh, you're so young.
I'm a youngin.
You're only so you're only 45?
I'm only 45.
Oh man, you're 5 years younger than me. Jeez.
I had my first colonoscopy, so don't think that I'm that young.
Have fun with that.
No, I already did.
Oh, you did?
That's the turning point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No longer a youngin. When you have your colonoscopy, you're not. I'll just leave it at that. But, yeah.
Awesome.
And for those that are wondering, because I've got this question a couple times, no, there won't be a Rogue Fun in 2025. I'm just trying to get ahead of that question because people have asked that. And I've been debating if I should make like an announcement on the club page, but I'll just wait 60 days.
Right. Well, there was another big announcement on the club page.
Summer Social.
Summer social.
It was nice after waking up to 17 degrees to start thinking about the summer.
Right. So that right there should tell you no Rogue Fun in 26 when we're planning the summer social.
Right. Righto.
I think that's everything, right, Jason?
Yeah, Toylanta. I got to start working on all that
Oh
Toylanta
yeah,
stuff.
Toylana's in when is Toylanta?
It's about a month away.
Okay.
Gonna start worrying about the booth set up, and
Yeah,
I gotta order those posters that we'll be handing out. We gotta take care of that wheel. I have to pull out the TV to see if I can just drop in a thumb drive and it'll
that would
play
be ideal if you can do
slideshow.
that.
Uh,
If anybody's listening that knows that if we can just plug a flash drive into a TV, let us know.
well, it depends on the TV itself. Sometimes you can do that.
Oh, okay.
So I just need to get the TV out and test it.
Gotcha. I didn't know if there was a program you needed to put on a thumb drive.
No, no. Sometimes you can just uh tab over, change the input to the USB,
Hmm.
and it'll just start playing the photos there.
Oh, that would be awesome because that would save a computer.
The other thing I could do is get a Google Chromecast,
Uh-huh.
but I just need an internet connection so it could pull from the web.
Gotcha.
It would
Okay.
display the time, the weather, and then it would just rotate through a select grouping of photos, an album that I set up, which I do. Like I have in my Star Wars room, I have Chromecast,
Mm.
and so it just filters through Star Wars related photos. And then in the family room is just a generic family Chromecast, so it goes through all the family photos.
Wow.
It's like a
Cool.
giant picture frame.
Right. No, that's awesome. I didn't know you could
But
do that. I'm not
yeah,
that tech savvy.
but you just need a internet connection, which I don't know if we will have at the
Um,
thing. Because
yeah.
sometimes as a vendor, you have to pay extra for that kind of stuff. Do you want internet? Do you want power?
Right. You want carpet?
Do you want us to drop the drape so people can actually see you?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping I don't spend a whole lot of money, or maybe I'll just have a little bit of money to spend. I don't know. We shall see.
What
Ooh,
character is
more
this?
3D model and stuff.
What character is this?
From the cantina?
Yeah,
Is that the I don't like you. He
yeah,
doesn't like you either.
it is.
One of those guys.
No, it is. It's Dr. E,
Esteban.
Dr. Ezavon. And then it's a deep cut.
Uh-oh. Jason is for those of you on video on audio, Jason is putting together 3D printed stuff. Oh wow. Okay, that's the one lady,
Yeah, the pink lady.
the pink lady.
Yeah, I finished Bomb Vinden, but I am not happy with how I mean, he looks great,
Right. He does look great.
but I could see layer lines and stuff, and so I'm not happy with exactly how he's finished. But he's good from far, but far from good.
He's a good 10-foot figure.
I think he's actually he's a smaller character, but like I put him next to my head, and if I
That's
was wearing a mask like this, it would have to be this size.
right.
But I feel like his head is too big.
Mm.
Anyways, it's been
You're
fun.
you're the one, you and Narayan can nerd out about the
I
Cantina
love it. I
characters.
love it. I've ever since Rogue Fun and putting together the collection of all the doctor stuff, the Panda
Mhm.
Baba and all that stuff. It's just like I've got a whole new focus of Cantina stuff. And if it wasn't such a hassle and if it wasn't a loss of money, I would have sold all of my other stuff and just kept all the Cantina stuff and Salacious
Mhm.
Crumb stuff. But I would just get, pennies on the dollar for the stuff that I have.
Yeah, that's what sucks is when you're realizing what you paid, you overpaid for stuff.
Although I am going to keep my eyes open, Toylanta this time. I'm looking at 90s toys to see if, Kelly said that the 90s stuff at Second Chance is really starting to take off.
Right.
That was one thing that I did see plenty of at the last toy swap. They had lots of Power of the Force 2 stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was cheap, but it was there, and so I'm interested to see if the stuff is there available, and then if I go back around on Sunday, how much of that stuff is gone and sold.
Right. Well, I mean, I keep saying it's like our kids, they're getting into having, or the people that grew up on Phantom Menace are starting to have disposable income.
Yep.
So I think that's the stuff that, and I've been saying it for years, and maybe I'm finally right. That's finally, finally people are buying it. Or, I mean, you got people, think about it. I mean, you can buy a $5 Power of the Force figure or a $50 vintage figure.
Well, Kelly calls it the 30-year rule.
Okay.
So if 30 years after a toy comes out, you have the disposable income like you're talking about,
Right.
and you're able to go back and buy the toys that you lost. So
Yeah. I mean,
I
that's what
think
we all did. I mean, what was the first toy you really went buy? You were like, I want the Millennium Falcon because I couldn't, my mom would never buy it for me. So I went
yeah,
and bought, you buy that. Or, the one toy you wanted or the flag. People would go buy the flag because their parents are like, you're not having a 6 foot long freaking ship in my basement.
yeah, it's probably better to buy it for $100 back then than it is today for what, 30,000?
Yeah. I don't think it's not that much, but yeah.
Oh, I guess no, that was cased.
Yeah.
That was
That's a
graded.
cased and graded and crazy. That's let me
Well, I
get you in
think
my booth and I'm gonna put a I don't want to sell it price on it, and you'll come in here and be like, where's the $30,000 flag? And then you go, oh, look, something for $20. I'll buy this.
yeah. So I guess that's all I got this week.
Cool.
Thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out and points people to our show. We love feedback. Wait, it really helps us out. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. Hold on.
He's putting stuff together, people.
I'm focusing now on the script. I'm going to finish this. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback. We'd love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. Schedule your colonoscopy. This is the way.
This is the way.